60-minute yoga practice for runners, cyclists, and Crossfitters. Find yourself in tabletop, knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. And from here, extend your right leg back so you're on the back of your toes and reach your right heel down towards the back of your mat. Begin to find your deep breath here, inhaling through your nose and exhaling out through your nose. Starting to draw your right knee in and then extend your left leg out. And then bringing your left knee back in, and we'll come down to wedge up our mat. So you're going to roll your mat up from the back really tight. You want to get it as firm as you can. Rolling, rolling. And then about halfway up, you'll bring yourself to kneeling at the top of your mat. Draw your forehead, top of your head down to the ground, and then you'll wedge the mat in between your knees. So you're going to really draw it underneath there, squeezing it in right behind your kneecaps, and then start to draw your weight back. You can keep your hands down on the ground. This can be really intense. You use your legs a lot, so you might want to keep your hands down, or if you're feeling like you can make it a little more intense, you can place your hands on your knees. Nice, strong, flat back here. So try not to really let your chest drop back or your back arch. Just try and relax here. So if you need to back off a bit, back off a bit. That's totally fine. And then we'll place our hands back down, head on the ground, and we'll roll the mat up a little bit more as you bring the wedge to the fleshy part of your calf. And this might be a little more intense, or you can handle this a little bit better. So you can bring the hands up onto the thighs, or again, you can just keep the hands right in front of your knees. Working out those legs, getting into some of the fascia, that muscle, getting the blood circulating a little more, maybe shifting the weight from side to side, and just continuing to breathe in through the nose, and then on your exhale, coming down, we'll now move the mat to right at the point where the mid-calf meets your Achilles tendon, and then shifting the weight back down. You can even place the hands behind you, opening the chest. And if this is too much, of course, bring the hands down and just breathe. Drawing your shoulders away from the ears. Breath in and breath out. On your exhale, we'll start to walk the hands forward. And we'll remove the mat from underneath us, so we'll unroll it, and moving your way to downward facing dog. We're just going to stretch it out here. And the thing to remember about downward facing dog is that we don't want too much pressure on the wrists. So just about 30% of the weight is on the wrists, and 70% is on the back of the legs. And from here, we'll just begin to bend the knees and draw the chest towards your thighs, starting a nice opening in the shoulders, bending into one knee and then into the other. And on your inhale, step your right foot forward. We'll find a crescent lunge just for a moment here. As we draw the left heel back, you can place a block underneath your left hand as you take a nice, easy twist. Either the hand is on the floor or on a block, or if you have some books nearby, reaching the right arm up, feel free to let the hips drop. Don't worry too much about alignment here. We just want this to feel really good. Drawing the left heel back towards the back of the mat. Breathing in. And on the exhale, straightening the back leg, reaching the top arm up towards the back thigh and drawing the back heel down. So both legs are straight here. Feeling a nice opening in the IT band, the side of the leg, the back of the leg, the hamstrings, maybe a little in the shoulders. You don't have to touch the leg, you're just reaching back towards it, so no pressure. Just keep that breath moving. And on your next inhale, we'll reach back up, find that easy twist. We're just gonna flow here a few times. Exhale, reach back, drawing the heel down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, reaching back. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach it back. Inhale, reach that top arm up. Exhale, back, moving with that breath. Inhale, reach up. And reach it back. Placing the hands down. Find our way back to downward facing dog. Stretching it out. Feel the hips pull back and apart. Press the hands into the mat. Inhale, step the left foot forward. We'll do that on the second side, so have your block handy if needed. And then inhale, reach the left arm up. Draw the right heel back towards the back of the mat. Let your hips soften. Let your shoulders draw away from your ears. You can take the gaze up towards the top arm, or if that doesn't feel so great on the neck, you can draw the gaze down towards the ground or anywhere in between. Just no cranking in the neck. Breath in, and then we'll start to straighten the front leg. Reach the top arm back towards the back leg as you straighten that one as well. Heel draws down towards the ground, getting a nice stretch in the leg. Maybe you're even getting into the glutes here. Again, your hand doesn't have to touch the leg. It's just drawing towards it. Keyword, towards. So keep it nice and easy. Breathe in and breathe out. On your next inhale, reach up, find that easy twist. Exhale, draw back. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, pull it back. Inhale, reach up, sink the hips. Exhale, feel the hips lift back and apart. Moving with that breath. Exhale again. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, pull it back. And then placing the hands down, and we'll move our way back once again to downward facing dog. Starting to walk your hands back to the back of your mat. Roll up nice and slow. I call these zombie roll-ups, one vertebrae at a time. And then we'll cross the left ankle over the left, so maybe your pinkies are in line with another. Inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky, cross your wrists. And then we'll start to draw your torso towards the right. Keep drawing the left hip down, the bellies pull in, shoulders draw away, yet the arms reach up. Keep the face nice and soft. Breathe in, exhale out as you fold down towards the right side of your mat, feeling free to bend your knees. You can bend both or just bend into the right. And then we'll walk the hands forward and roll ourselves back up to stand. Zombie roll up once again. Uncross the ankles to the other way, so you'll just switch the other foot around. Inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky, cross the wrists, and then exhale, reach over towards your left. Draw your tailbone down, belly pulls in, so we don't want too much of an arch in the back, just a neutral spine. Keep pressing the right hip down towards the mat. Feel all four corners of your feet press down. So just as if you were running, you want all foot to press down as you fold down towards the left side of your mat, over the left toe. If you lost a headband, put it back on. Just fold here. Bending into the left knee, maybe both if you need to. Try it out. And then walk your hands back to center, uncross your legs, and walk your hands forward once again to find downward facing dog. Stretching it out. We're going to prop ourselves up onto our fists. Now, this might be a really big sensation for you, so you don't have to stay here for too long. We're going to stay in downward facing dog on our fists. So your thumbs are pointing towards the front of your mat. Your thumbnails are facing towards the front of your mat. And you can bend into one knee here, and bend into the other. So we're really focusing on getting that stretch in the back of your legs. And then, of course, you have the option to come off of the fists if this is too much on the hands. And we'll all just meet back in downward facing dog, stretching out the legs. And we're going to come into a bit of a flow here. So keep on breathing. On your next inhale, we'll step the right foot forward, and we're going to find Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Don't worry too much about alignment here, but your hips are facing forward. And you'll inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky, and we're actually going to cross opposite elbow. So I want you to just grab onto opposite elbow. I like to call these genie arms. And as much as you can, you'll start to reach the elbows up towards the sky. They can be in front of your face, they could be just right in front of your chest, or even up overhead behind you a bit. Whatever feels comfortable. Getting into the shoulders a bit here. Breathing in. And then on your exhale, we'll open up to Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Reaching the arms long. This is a heel to arch alignment with the legs. Right knee is right over the right ankle at a 90-degree angle. And the left toes might be turned in slightly. And breathe in. And breathe out. Inhale. Exhale, placing the forearm onto the thigh, and reach the left arm overhead, over your ear. Starting to turn your chest up towards the sky, so the right side of your heart might begin to face up towards the ceiling. And as the arm is on the leg, press the arm into the leg. Don't just let yourself dump here. If it feels okay on the neck, you continue to look up. If you need to look down, look down. And then on your inhale, we'll rise up, straighten the right leg, Trikonasana, triangle pose. So reach that right arm and then place it down on the shin, on a block, books, again, whatever you have nearby. And reach that top arm over, up towards the sky. Kind of drawing your right hip underneath you. This is going to be a really nice stretch on the legs as well. So keep pressing the feet down into the mat and feel a lift up of the torso. Getting into the left side of your ribs, maybe even the right side of your ribs. But again, we're not worried too much about alignment today. And on your exhale, you'll place the hands down. And we'll walk the back foot in, finding a revolved triangle pose with long legs. So you just walk the back foot in slightly, square the hips off so they're facing the front of the mat. We'll find a twist. So reaching the right arm up, placing the left hand on a block, or on the ground, even on your shin. But the back heel is down, so the whole back foot is touching the earth. Breathe in. Exhale out. Inhale. And then on your exhale, we'll once again reach that top arm back towards that back leg. So the same arm that is of the leg forward is the one that's going to reach back towards that back leg, towards that back thigh. Both legs are straight. You can clasp onto the thigh, or you can just reach towards it. Again, you don't have to be touching. That is part of your ego saying that you have to touch. That's just not true. So we want to feel good here, feel a nice stretch. There's no rush in this posture. Breathe in, exhale out. Inhale, we'll release that reaching, and we'll find Parsvottanasana, pyramid pose. So we're going to take a really long variation of this. We're going to reach that back foot back, but then I want you to walk that left foot over towards the right side of your mat. So your legs are kind of like a twisty tie, and the right foot's still in the middle of the mat, but the left side is all the way over towards the right. And you can take a slight bend in that front knee if necessary, or you can straighten it. You can have your hands on blocks, or you can have your hands on the ground. Nice stretch for the hamstrings, for the IT band. To get a little deeper, you can always walk your hands back towards the back foot. Breathe in and breathe out. Nodding the head, shaking it, letting that neck go. And then from here, we're going to make our way down to a low lunge. So dropping your left knee down onto the mat, you can grab your blocks here. We're going to take a 90-degree low lunge. So the right knee is right over the right ankle, and the left hip is right over the left hip. Placing the hands on the hips, sit up nice and tall. If you need some padding underneath the left knee, you can roll your mat up a bit, or you can take a blanket and just throw it right underneath there. We're going to place the right hand down towards the right side. You can grab a block to place it down, and then we'll reach a left arm up and then overhead. So getting a nice stretch in the left side. You might be even moving into your left hip flexor, your psoas, the front of your left leg, the side, your ribs. Lots of stuff might be happening here, but just read your body, listen to it. Again, we don't want any pain, we just want a nice stretch. And then inhale, reach both arms up high. Exhale, place the hands down, framing your front foot. And we're going to walk that back knee back a bit and let the pelvis drop. You can have the hands down on blocks, the hands on the ground, hands on your knee, on your thigh, whatever feels good here. So now we're starting to move into your left quad. Making sure your back toes aren't sickling in. So you might want to take a look at your left toes, make sure the toes aren't turning inwards, rather they're right behind your ankle. And then we'll begin to get a little deeper into this posture, however feels good for you. We'll walk the hands now to the inside of the right foot with the right toes pointing forward, finding a lizard lunge. And you can grab your blocks here, place them right underneath your hands, where the hands can be on the ground. You decide what works for you. You can come onto the forearms to intensify the stretch. Just don't let your chest cave in. So we still want to be drawing the shoulders slightly away from the ears. And then we're going to turn the right toes out to a 45-degree angle. So the toes are going to come off of the mat. The foot is going to remain on the ground. And we're going to bend into the back leg, place the right hand on the ground on a block. And then we'll reach towards that foot. And you don't have to touch the foot. You could be grabbing onto your pants. You could just be grabbing back towards it. And then possibly finding a bit of a back bend here, or just really moving into this quad stretch. You can let the right knee start to fall out towards the side. You can come onto the forearm and really get into the back bend here. So between the two of us, choosing any variation that will work for you here. The chest stays open though. Draw the shoulders away from the ears and then exhale, placing the hands down. We'll find our way back to plank pose. And then Exhale, downward facing dog. And just roll it out. Move the hips around, move the legs around. Shimmy from one side to another. And come on the tippy toes on the inhale. And then exhale, draw the heels down towards the ground. Just moving like that. Inhale, drawing up, hips lift up. Exhale, heels down. Feeling free to bend the knees as much as you need to. We'll inhale, step the left foot forward, and we'll do the whole shebang on the second side. So set yourself up for Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Hips are squared off. Right foot is totally on the ground. And inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky. Just remember, you always want your knee pointing the same direction as your foot. Find your genie arms here. Possibly the opposite elbow is on top. And then inhale, reach the arms up over your head. And goal here is to find a nice stretch in the shoulders. You also have some work going on in the right leg. Left leg is strengthening here with the knee directly over the ankle. Shoulders draw down the back. Keep that breath moving. Soften your face. And then we'll inhale, open up. Find Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Again, that heel to arch alignment with the front to back foot. Left knee is over the ankle. Arms are outstretched, nice and long, and the shoulders draw down the back. Breathe in, and breathe out. Inhale, exhale, breathing through the nose. Inhale, exhale, placing the forearm onto the thigh, the right arm overhead. And beginning to turn the left side of the heart up towards the sky. So leaning back slightly here. Pressing the arm into the leg. Strong posture. And then in on your inhale, we'll roll back up, straighten the left leg, and we'll find Trikonasana, triangle pose. So reach and placing the hand on a block or on the shin, finding length on both sides of the body. So really easy to seat on the right side. How about the left? Do you find any length there, any space there? Press the feet into the mat. Take the gaze down if that feels better on the neck, or you can keep it up towards the sky. Soften your eyes, soften your face. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale, and then on your exhale, we'll find a long-legged revolved triangle pose. So we'll walk the back foot in slightly, square the hips off, placing your right hand on a block or on the ground or on the shin, and we'll twist, reaching the left arm up towards the sky. Don't worry about what's happening with the hips. They don't have to stay squared. You can let the right hip drop. Nice opening in the legs. And then on your exhale, we'll reach that top arm back towards the back leg. Doesn't matter if you can touch the pant or the actual flesh, just reach back towards. And both feet are on the ground fully. Keep that breath moving in and moving out. Let the head drop. You can have a bit of a twist going on, or you can just have a little bit of a forward fold. So whatever feels good for you. You don't have to think about it too much. Just do what feels right in this moment. And then from here, we'll move our way into that variation of Parsvottanasana. pyramid pose by reaching the right leg towards the left side of the mat. So twisty tie the legs up. The left foot still center of the mat with the toes forward. The right foot's now on the left side of the mat. And then just fold. Hands on blocks. Hands can be on the ground. Or hands can be reaching back towards the back foot. Even taking a slight bend in that front knee if that's a little too much for you to have straight legs. Warming up the body, so maybe you'll be ready to straighten it a bit, but you don't have to straighten all the way. Yoga is a marathon. It is not a race. And then we'll start to walk the hands forward and drop the right knee. We'll find that 90-degree lunge, that low lunge. Again, placing some padding underneath the right knee if needed. And the hands can come to the hips or onto the thigh. The right foot is not sickling in, so check back, make sure it's not turning in or out. We want it right behind the ankle. And we're sitting up nice and tall. Softening the eyes. Fixing your headband. And from here, we'll move into that side bend. So place the block on the left side and reach the top right arm over your head. It can be on the highest setting, medium setting, lowest setting. You might not even have a block, you might just be reaching. That's okay too. That reaching going, maybe take the gaze down. If it feels okay, you can keep it up, and then we'll inhale, reach both arms up towards the sky. And then on our exhale, we'll place our hands down, framing that left foot, walk the right knee back slightly. You can have the toes tucked or untucked, it's up to you. And we'll just find a deeper lunge here, allowing the pelvis to just float down, allow it to almost dump a little bit. Just let it go. You don't need to hold it up. Place the hands onto the thigh, have the hands on the ground. So notice that we're giving you lots of variations here, so you can take anywhere in between. Hands on blocks. If you really want to reach the arms up, get a little more active here, you can reach the arms up towards the sky, just giving you some options. Breathe in and out. Exhaling, place the hands down, and we'll find our lizard lunge. So we're going to heel toe the left foot over towards the left. Hands are on the inside of the left foot, and the left toes are pointing forward. You can come off of the back knee, or you can keep it dropped. Be on blocks. You can come onto your forearms. Just for this time being, let the left knee be straight forward. So don't allow it to fall out towards the left quite yet. We will get there. But just relish in this posture as it is. Emotions start coming up. Just observe them. There's no judgment attached to them. And then from here, we'll walk our hands up. Turn the left toes off of the mat to a 45-degree angle. Flexing that foot, and first we're going to keep the foot situated on the ground as we place the right hand down and get a nice quad stretch. So we'll bend the back knee and grab on somewhere, turn the chest open, come onto the forearm if that feels good, and then you can start to lift onto the pinky edge of the left foot, letting the knee fall out towards the side a bit more. Notice what is feeling good though. Stopping anywhere along the way. Just maintaining that breath, so keep breathing in and breathing out. As you exhale, releasing the leg very carefully, placing the hands down and shimmying yourself back to plank pose for a breath. and lifting the hips up high as we come back to downward facing dog. Just pause here for a few minutes. We can move the hips from side to side, bend into the knees. We're going to make our way onto the ground, so slowly drop onto the knees. You can cross your ankles and just sit back. We're going to lay on our back, so you might want to have your block handy and have your strap handy as well, ready to go. And we'll begin by bending at your knees. So bend your knees so your feet are parallel from one another. Your toes are pointing forward. And then we'll inhale, lift the right leg up towards the sky. Take your strap and you can plant it around the ball of the foot. And keep your shoulders situated on the ground as you just start to draw the foot towards your face. You can keep a slight bend in the right knee here. You can also keep the left knee bent, or if you want to straighten it out, get a little bit intense in the stretch, you can go ahead and do that as well. And we just want to make sure that we're not doing anything to make the neck uncomfortable or really drawing the leg down towards the face. Make this a little more passive and not so active. So just relax here, feeling a nice opening in the hamstring. And keep that breath going. That's all we're doing. We're just breathing and moving. Exhale, release the strap, and we'll hug the right knee in towards the chest. So not out towards the armpit, towards the chest. And at this point, again, you have the option of straightening your left leg out with the toes facing up towards the sky, or you can keep it bent. Just reading your body. Again, those shoulders are planted on the ground, and keep that breath in and out. And then we will slowly exhale, release, place the left arm to the left side of the floor, and we'll draw the right knee out towards the right. So now the right knee is coming towards the armpit. The foot is facing towards the right. Getting a little bit on the inner thigh, the adductors. Keeping those left toes pointed up if you can. If they start to fade out, don't worry about it. Not that big of a deal. Just relax here. Make this pose feel good. Breathe in. And then on your exhale, finding half happy baby pose. So you can grab onto the outside of your right foot, the pinky edge of the foot. You can grab onto the big toe. You can place a strap around the ball of the foot as well. Bend into the left knee, or you can keep it straight. So there are a lot of options here. Pulling the right knee down towards the outside of your right side body, towards the armpit a bit. And the right foot is facing up towards the sky. So as if you were standing on the ceiling with your right foot, like a half squat. And then we'll take the strap again, and we'll place it around the ball of the foot once more. And then we're going to get into the IT band here. So I want you to internally rotate the right leg. So now your right toes are going to face towards the left, towards your left shoulder, and then very easily we're just going to draw the right leg over towards the left, just slightly. So we want to keep the hip somewhat on the ground. It can lift up a bit, and this isn't a huge supine twist here. It's just a very simple stretch over towards the left. So we're getting into the side of the right leg, the IT band, some juicy stuff that's probably going on in your leg right now. And breathe here. And breathe here deeply. If you're not feeling it in the side of the leg, just back off a bit. And then we'll exhale, release the strap, and we'll come now into a supine twist with a bent knee. So we're just going to keep the right knee bent as we draw it all the way over towards the left. You can keep the left hand onto the right knee, gently coaxing it down, and the right arm out towards the side. Your gaze can be up towards the sky, or it could be towards the right, whatever feels good. A gentle twist in your back. You might hear a little bit of popping, a little bit of cracking. That's okay. Just saying hello to your spine. Breathe in and out. Inhale, right leg pulls back in towards the chest. Give it a hug. And then we'll reach the right leg up towards the sky, pick up the left knee, and we'll come to Supta Gomukrasana, reclined cow face pose. So we're just crossing the legs like we were sitting in a chair in a party dress. And you can just hug your knees in, just squeeze them in towards your chest with your hips still on the ground, your shoulders are still on the ground. You can get really deep into this posture here by grabbing onto the ankles and gently pulling them towards the ground, or even grabbing on towards the feet if you really want to get deep into it. But again, just making sure that your whole torso is on the ground, the hips are on the ground, your head is very gently supported by the mat, your shoulders are on the ground. So we're getting into the glutes, the hip flexor, maybe you're getting into the IT band a bit. And then we'll exhale, release, reach both legs up towards the sky. And then place the right foot down. We're going to switch sides. Do all that on the other side. So grab onto your strap. We'll take it to the ball of the left foot this time. We're just going to find that nice hamstring stretch. So we're just going to slowly draw the left foot towards the face. You can straighten the right leg out. You can keep it bent. Know that one side of your body might differ from the other side of your body. So you don't have to do the same thing on both sides. Shoulders are planted on the ground. If you start to furrow your brow or get really uncomfortable here, back off a bit. Breathe in. And then exhale, release the strap, pull your left knee in towards your chest, give it a hug. Maybe straighten that right leg out. Toes point up. Shoulders on the ground. Just relax. Still here, just pulling it in. And then we'll take the knee out towards the left. Right arm can come out towards the right side. Just getting a little opening in the inner thigh. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale back up to center. And we'll find half happy baby pose, grabbing onto the outside of the foot, the big toe, having a strap around the ball of the foot. Again, just pulling the left knee in towards your left armpit. The left foot is facing right up to the sky, and your tailbone is on the ground. If you're starting to kind of curve your back, let go a bit. Maybe grab onto your pant instead, or if you don't have the strap, grab the strap, use that instead. You don't have to grab onto the foot. And then on your exhale, we'll release, and we'll go right to Supta Gomukrasana. So we'll cross the legs and pull the knees in towards the chest. Again, grabbing on anywhere. You can grab onto the knees, pull them in, the ankles, your shins, or the outsides of the feet. If you're going to grab onto the outsides of the feet, just make sure that the feet are flexed. We want to protect our knees. Shoulders on the ground, head on the ground, tailbone on the ground. So just relax here. Allow it to feel good. You don't have to work so hard. Taking another breath in, and then we'll exhale, release, and we'll move to taking that internal rotation with the left leg. So grab the strap, place it around the ball of the left foot, and then turn the left toes towards your right shoulder. So turning them in a bit towards the midline, and then we'll slowly draw the left leg over towards the right. You can straighten that right leg or keep it bent. Moving into the IT band. So we do want to have that internal rotation so we can get to that outside of the thigh. And the hip might be lifted just a smidge, but we don't want it totally lifted. We'll get to that supine twist in just a moment. Keep that breath moving in and out. Take another inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, release the strap, and we'll move into that supine twist. It might feel better if you straighten that right leg, but you can decide and determine what feels good for you. The left arm can be outstretched towards the left, gaze up towards the sky, or to your left hand, whatever feels good. And again, we're just drawing that left knee over towards the right. You can even kind of imagine that your left hip was stacked directly over your right hip. Don't worry if your left shoulder is not on the ground. Just make it an easy twist. Soften your face, and then deepen your breath. Inhale, come back up. Hug your left knee in towards the chest, and then the right. Squeeze them both in. Give yourself a nice hug. Maybe roll from side to side. And then we'll separate the knees so they are apart from one another towards the armpits. Your feet are facing forward. We're just going to rotate the ankles in one direction, making circles. Good. And then the other direction. And then we're going to point and flex the feet. So flex and then point. Flex, point. Just moving back and forth, getting into the Achilles, getting into the shin, the ankles, and then we'll cross the legs. Give yourself a squeeze. We're going to roll back and forth a few times. Give yourself a little massage on your spine. And then we're going to roll back and find downward facing dog. Stretch it all out. And shake the head no. Nod it yes. You can bend into the knees again. Feel the chest drop back towards the thighs. And then we're going to reach the right leg out towards the left. And start to draw your hips down. So your foot, your pinky edge of your foot is on the ground here, of your right foot. And you're on the back of your left toes. So they're tucked underneath you. And you can stay right here. Again, this can be an IT band stretch, or you can lower onto your forearms. You can even come all the way onto the belly. You might have your hands on blocks or on your forearms. And to come into the full posture, you'll take your gaze over to the right with your arm out to the right, and then your left hand is reaching towards your right foot. And you stop anywhere along the way. For me, it feels really good to just be propped up on my hands and have my right leg out towards the left. So your foot is in line with your hip. Your right foot's in line with your hip here. Keep that breath moving. Inhale. Exhale. If you are lower down to the ground, start to make your way back up. And we will easily come back to downward facing dog. And shake it out. Get yourself ready for your second side. So the left leg will step through towards the right side of your mat, or on the pinky side of your left foot. And I'm propping myself up on a block. My hips are actually under a block here. And if you didn't take that option on the other side, you're welcome to take it on this side. See how that feels. You can keep yourself up on your hands, lower yourself onto your forearms, but that back toe is tucked, and the left foot, those toes, are in line with your hips. Anywhere along the way, so you can take the full extension, or you can drop onto the forearms. You can come all the way down to the belly. You can reach the right arm out to the right, the left arm out to the left, and then maybe your left hand touches your foot, And your gaze can come over to the left. And this is a massive neck stretch here as well. So just back off wherever you need to. The goal is to have a nice stretch happening in your left IT band. Maybe a little bit in your right hamstring, back of your right leg, or even your hips. And we'll walk ourselves back up. Very simply find your way back to downward facing dog. And all that stuff out. We'll lower onto our knees. And this time we're going to tuck our toes. And I want you to even take your fingers to your pinky toes and actively draw the pinky toes to tuck as well. They kind of get stuck a lot, right? We forget about them, those little tiny toes. But let's really tuck them underneath. And you can have the hands in front of you, or you can start to draw the weight back onto the feet. It's a really big opener in the back of the feet. And especially if you wear shoes, which most people do, your feet get really tight. They're confined by your shoes, your sneakers, your heels. Whatever you're wearing on your feet, they can just start to get really tensed up. So here's your opportunity to open them up, and at any time you can place your hands down on the ground. And if you need to take the toes out, take the toes out. Just give yourself a few breaths here. And if it's really intense for you, then maybe you can do this every day. And you might see a little bit of change happening in your body and your equilibrium and your balance. And then we'll start to walk our hands out. And to release ourselves, we're going to point to the toes and then flex. Just point and flex a few times. You can wiggle them, move the feet from side to side. Here, we're going to find a wall space. So I'm going to ask you to pause your video and take your mat over to a wall, and we'll meet you there. So we're going to scooch your left hip over to the wall and prop yourself up on your elbows as you turn your hips to face the wall and bend your knees like a squat against the wall. And if you need to bring your bum a little closer or further from the wall, you may do so. And to set up, your whole spine is going to be on the ground. Let your knees fall out to the sides. And just begin to allow your body to now feel heavy here. Your eyelids heavy. You can even begin to soften your gaze, maybe even close your eyes. And just fall into this posture. We're just going to stay here for about a minute longer. So breathing in and breathing out. At this point, sometimes it's easier for our thoughts to arise and our to-do lists to make their way back into our brains. I really want you to avoid that. So if those thoughts do arise, acknowledge them, and then just remind yourself that now is not the time for that. You will have time for that later. Just let your body sink. Just a few more deep breaths here. Your awareness is on the breath. And then we're going to bring the soles of the feet together, and the hands are going to come right where the top of the knees meet the inner thighs. Exactly. I'm going to press the knees out towards the sides, to the right and the left, and then draw the knees forward. So we want the heel of the hand right below the kneecap, right below those ligaments, more on the flesh of the thigh. And draw them towards the wall. Back of the shoulders, rest on the mat. You can feel the connection with your back of your skull connected to the earth. And feel those inhales fill you up, and the exhale just sinks you a little deeper into the posture. Breathing in and exhale it out. Take another deep inhale. And then on your next exhale, drawing your hands to the outside of the knees and draw the knees together. Give yourself a squeeze as you then reach your legs up towards the sky, allowing them to be supported by the wall. So they don't have to be stick straight facing right up. They can be out a little bit towards the sides. The toes will splay out. And you can place one hand on your heart, one hand to your belly. Just feel your heartbeat. Feel your belly fill up. We're going to stay here for a few minutes. And this is going to be our closing posture. Legs up the wall, and just allowing the blood to circulate from the feet down to the hips. Face is soft, your eyes are closed. Not too much effort. The muscles in the legs relax. Your organs, they soften. The features on your face, they're not holding, they're just letting go, just being natural. And we'll let our ujjayi breath, our deep breath that we've been doing throughout our practice, just let that dissolve, let that go. And allow your natural and organic breath to start to make its way back into your body. So no emphasis on the inhales or the exhales, just allow them to be natural. And from here, I'm still here with you, we're still here with you. But we're going to start to turn off any sort of narration. Just let our bodies fall into this posture. Tuning out. And start to bring your awareness back, deepening the breath. Chest fills up with air. Feel the exhale move right out through the feet. Finding small movements in your fingers and your toes. Your wrists, your ankles, your neck. And then bringing your arms overhead. Find a nice long stretch in your torso. And starting to pull your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a hug and roll over onto your right side. Just pause here with the support of your bicep underneath your head. And with ease, you roll up to a seated posture. You can keep your eyes closed, keep your face soft, keep it all easy. Cross-legged is a great position, or anything else that feels comfortable, and just sit up nice and tall. Bring your hands to your heart center, thanking yourself for your practice, for your dedication to your running or your CrossFit or whatever you do. We'll say namaste.